My name is David, and there's something I should have understood 40 years ago. I built a company valued at $200 million. I had the corner office, a private jet, a beach house. People called me a success. Business magazines featured me. Young founders asked for my secrets. What no one saw was the cost. While I was building that empire, I was tearing down the only things that actually mattered. And when I finally saw it clearly, it was already too late to undo most of the damage. I'm 76 now. The company is long gone. I sold it years ago. The money is still here, but I would give all of it to go back and make different choices. So if you're telling yourself just a few more years, no matter how old you are, listen to this. I was you, and I was wrong about almost everything. Let me take you back to 1978. I was 30, newly married to Sarah, and just starting my own business. Everyone thought I was out of my mind, but I was determined to prove them wrong. The first 5 years were brutal. 80 and 90-hour weeks. Missed dinners, birthdays, anniversaries. Sarah said she understood, or at least that's what I told myself. She'd say, "It's okay. We're building our future." And I believed it. I truly believed that once we made it, life would begin. We'd have time then. That lie carried me for 20 years. In 1983, our daughter Emma was born. Sarah went into labor while I was stuck in a board meeting. I arrived later and told myself I'd be there for the moments that really mattered. I wasn't. I missed her first steps, her first day of school, her soccer matches, her graduation. One memory still won't leave me. Emma was about 7 when she walked into my office with a drawing of our family. She was glowing with excitement. I was on a conference call and raised one finger, just a minute. She waited maybe 30 seconds, then quietly left. Years later, I found that drawing. At the bottom, she had written, "I love you, Daddy, even though you're always busy." She was 7. By the time I read it, there was nothing left to fix. By 1995, we had made it. The company was worth $50 million. We moved into a mansion. We took our first real vacation in 12 years, a trip to Hawaii. I told myself it proved everything had been worth it, but something had changed. Sarah had built a full life without me, her friends, her charity work. Emma was 13 and barely spoke to me. I was living in a house where I felt like a guest, a stranger in my own family. I kept telling myself it was temporary, just a phase. Once Emma went off to college, we'd reconnect. That magical later I was always waiting for. In 2001, Emma left for Stanford. I was incredibly proud, but when we dropped her off, she hugged Sarah for 5 full minutes. She hugged me for 5 seconds. Polite, automatic. That same year, Sarah asked for a divorce. 23 years of marriage, and she was done waiting. She'd spent 2 decades alone while married to me. I'd been committed to my company, not to her. I had no defense. She was right. After the divorce, I buried myself in work even deeper. The company grew to $200 million. I landed on the cover of Forbes. People asked how I did it. I never told them the real answer, that I did it by giving up everything that actually mattered. In 2009, I had a heart attack. I was 61, late at the office, as usual, when the pain started. I drove myself to the hospital. There was no one to call. Sarah had remarried. Emma lived in New York. My assistant only noticed something was wrong the next day when I missed a meeting. Lying in that hospital bed, surrounded by machines, everything finally became clear. What was the point? I'd built this massive company, but for who? Not for Sarah. She was gone. Not for Emma. She'd learned to live without me. Was it for myself? For my ego? For a finish line that kept moving further away? In 2012, I sold the company. Huge payout. And then I had to face a question I'd avoided my whole life. What does life look like when the work is over? 64 years old, more money than I could ever spend, and no one to share it with. I tried to rebuild things with Emma. I called every week, flew to New York, but time doesn't work that way. You can't go back and show up for those soccer games. You can't rewrite missed years. Once they're gone, they're gone. Emma is polite with me now. We have lunch sometimes, we talk, but we don't have what other fathers and daughters have. No shared jokes, no deep memories. We're cordial, pleasant, distant. And that's my fault. She got married 3 years ago. She asked me to walk her down the aisle, and I did. But during her speech, she talked about her mother, about how Sarah was always there, how she taught her strength, how she showed her what it meant to be a good person. Then Emma thanked me for coming. That was it. Thanked me for attending her wedding, like I was a guest, not her father. That night, alone in my hotel room, I cried for the first time in decades, because I finally understood how much I'd missed, the moments that mattered most. I was so focused on building something I thought was important that I missed watching my daughter grow up, missed being part of her life. Now I'm an old man she tolerates out of obligation, not someone she genuinely wants close. It took me 60 years to learn this. Success is meaningless if you're alone. Money is worthless if there's no one to share it with. Achievements don't matter if the people you love don't care. And now I see young men making the same mistakes I did. Working 70, 80 hours a week, I watch them do the same things I once did. Missing dinners with their kids because one more report has to be finished. Choosing career wins over their marriages. And they all repeat the same promise I made to myself. Just a few more years, once I make partner, once I hit this number, once I reach this goal, then I'll focus on family. But that moment never comes. There's always another target, another promotion, another deal. The finish line keeps moving. While it does, your children grow up, your marriage erodes, and one day you wake up old with a full bank account and a lifetime of regret. If I could sit down with my 30-year-old self, this is what I'd tell him. Your company will survive if you leave the office at 5. That meeting can wait until Monday. That email can be answered tomorrow. But your daughter's childhood will not wait. Her soccer game is today. Her school play is tonight. Miss those moments and they're gone for good. Work will always be there. There will always be another deal, another project, another urgent crisis. But your kids won't always be kids. Your wife won't wait forever. Your parents won't always be around. The people you love are on a clock, and you don't know when it runs out. I have more money than I could ever need. Investments, properties, a retirement fund that could support 10 people for life. And I would trade all of it, every dollar, for one more day with Emma when she was 7. One more quiet evening with Sarah before I pushed her away. One more chance to be present instead of always somewhere else. Here's the irony. Nobody at my company remembers me. I sold it, new management came in, and within 2 years, it was as if I'd never existed. The deals I sacrificed everything for, forgotten. The achievements I thought mattered, buried in old business magazines no one reads. But Emma remembers. She remembers every time I wasn't there, every missed birthday, every broken promise, every moment I chose work over her. Those memories are permanent. They shaped who she became. They defined our relationship. And I can't undo them. I'm 76 now. I live alone in a condo by the beach. I have more time than I know what to do with. I read, I travel, I volunteer. But mostly, I think about what might have been. I think about the life I could have had if I'd understood sooner that success isn't measured in dollars, deals, or square footage. It's measured in relationships, in presence, in love. So if you're watching this and you're working late again tonight, stop. Close the laptop, go home, be with your family, eat dinner with your kids, watch that show with your spouse. Be present, be there. Because I promise you, 20 years from now, you won't remember what that report said. What you will remember is whether you showed up for the moments that mattered. And if you're thinking, I'm different, my situation isn't the same, I'm building something important. I thought that too. Every man who makes this mistake believes he's the exception. He isn't. We all think we have more time than we do. We all assume family will wait. We all tell ourselves we'll make it right later. You won't. I learned that lesson 40 years too late. Don't repeat it. Learn it now. Go home. Be present. Choose your family. Because when your life is over, no one will care about your titles or your achievements. But the people you love will care deeply about whether you were there. And if you're not careful, you'll end up like me, wealthy, accomplished, admired on paper, and completely alone. If this story makes you uncomfortable, that's good. It should. If it makes you want to change something, even better. Don't wait. Don't promise yourself tomorrow or next year. Do it today. Do it now. Time doesn't care about your plans. It keeps moving, and one day it runs out. Tell me what you're going to do differently. And then close this and go be with the people who matter. Because trust me, nothing will ever matter more than that.